In case you've been living under a rock, WWE's on fire right now.
Wow, wow, just come outside for the night. You know what I mean? WrestleMania 41, people, in Las Vegas is only 12 days away. Woo! This was the second to last episode of Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania, and I bet it was great, right? I bet it was great, because I remember last year on the second to last episode of Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania, we got some great stuff. We got CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, all cutting great promos together. We had Cody Rhodes cutting a great promo. We had The Rock attacking Cody Rhodes in his tour bus, which was one of the most memorable segments of all time. I bet we got some great stuff just like that this year, right? I'm sure we did. Let's just take a look at them right now, as a matter of fact. Let's see. We got, War Raiders versus The New Day. Is that what we got? Are you serious? Alright, maybe that's just one. Let's just take a deeper look. Alright, let's see what else we got. We got Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley? Huh? This is the second to last episode of Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania? We are 12 days away from the biggest show of the year, and this is the kind of stuff we're getting? Are you serious? I mean, it's getting to a point where I'm just not even mad anymore, right? I'm just upset. I'm really just upset, dude. And it's also getting to a point where I can't even express how I'm feeling in words without repeating myself and saying the same thing I've been saying for the past couple of months. And that's because Triple H and the WWE continues to make the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over again. Can anybody watching this video right now look at me dead in the eye and tell me that yes, this episode of Monday Night Raw felt like a go-home show, or felt like the second to last episode of Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania? Can anybody tell me that? Can anybody look me dead in the eye and tell me that? No, you can't. Because it didn't feel like it, alright? This was a random episode of Raw we get in December. That's what it feels like. And this is supposed to be the second to last episode of Monday Night Raw before the biggest show of the year? The biggest show in all of wrestling? The granddaddy of them all, like, Triple H likes to say? This is the kind of show we're getting to build that up? You know what, screw it, man. Let's just get this over with as quick as possible. Let's review Monday Night Raw. So the show kicks off with Adam Pearce, who makes an announcement for the Women's World Championship. He welcomes Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and representing Judgment Day, apparently, Rhea Ripley. Now, here's the thing. Adam Pearce, all he does is just, scold Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley and Io Sky a bit for, not handling this like professionals. And then Adam Pearce says that Rhea Ripley is going to be added to the Women's World title match at WrestleMania, and it will now be a triple threat match. I just got one simple, very simple question, Adam Pearce. Why? Why? It's a very simple question, man. What did Rhea Ripley do to earn this shot? Why is she added to the match? All she did was cry about it, man. She lost the title, and then she just started crying about it, blaming Bianca Belair and stuff like that, when really none of it made sense. None of it really made sense. And then she got a rematch for the title for no reason, again, and she lost that one too, and now all of a sudden she's added to the match for no goddamn reason. Wow. And Bianca Belair, she's not even pissed at all. She's not even pissed at, Rhea Ripley getting added to the match, making her triple threat, and, decreasing her odds of winning the championship. She just said, oh yeah, I'm glad that Rhea Ripley's in this match, so I can whoop both of these asses or something like that. I don't even know. And then, Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair are just beefing, and then Io Sky tries to intervene, and they just push her aside again. This is the fourth week in a row we've seen this, man. How many times have we seen this? Where, Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair are beefing, and then Io Sky tries to intervene, and then they just push her away. We've seen this at least twice before, man. At least twice. This is achieving nothing, man. All this does is make Io Sky look like a loser. And you've made Io Sky look like a loser for at least 5 weeks now. Literally, ever since she won the title, you've made her look like a loser. Also, if the triple threat match was really the plan all along, then why are we doing it now? Why are we announcing it now? This is literally the second to last episode of Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania, and now we're making the match official? Now? Are you serious? So what now? We're gonna have only one episode of Monday Night Raw to build up this match after being official? I can't even make this up anymore, man. There's no way you guys can say that I'm complaining too much here. This is literally the worst goddamn booking possible, and this is what you guys wanted to main event WrestleMania? This is what you guys were asking for as the main event of WrestleMania? Are you serious? Oh, let the women main event WrestleMania while completely ignoring that the story is absolute trash. So anyways, yeah, about this segment, all right, Io Sky gets pushed aside, and then she hits both these women with a springboard kick or something. I don't even remember. So yeah, that was it. That was literally it. This could have been an email, man. This could have been a Twitter post. You could have literally posted, you know. You could have had Adam Pearce post on Twitter. Guys, Rhea Ripley is going to be added to the women's world title match at WrestleMania. That could have been it. Instead, we got this useless, boring segment that was nothing but a waste of our times because this literally took like 20 minutes of the show. Literally, this ended at like 8:20 p.m. The first 20 minutes of the show was just this pointless garbage. Let's just move on, man. I'm done. I am done. Anyways, then we got Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley for the IC title. And here's the thing. This would actually make sense if they weren't teaming up literally this Friday. They're going to be possibly, as a tag team, challenging for the women's tag team championships at WrestleMania. And you're telling me that now they're going to be fighting each other for the women's IC title? Are you kidding me? So let's say that, you know, Lyra Valkyria hypothetically lost. So would she still team up with with a woman that, you know, literally beat her for the IC title to, you know, to go after the tag team championships? That makes no sense. And that makes Lyra Valkyria look like a loser, man. This whole thing is just a big L. It's a lose-lose situation, and it makes no sense, and it's done because WWE has no real tag teams in this division. They just don't. So they gotta, you know, resort to doing random stuff like this all the time, man. All the time. Whatever, man. This was just whatever. I mean, it was a pretty good match, you know, I'm not gonna lie. But, you know, it just takes away from the fact that, you know, they're going to be teaming up literally this Friday. So I literally can't get into this match because I know Lyra Valkyria is not going to lose here. Because, you know, she's literally going to be challenging for the tag titles with her opponent right now. So none of this makes any goddamn sense. Big L by WWE for even booking this match. Let's just move on. Lyra Valkyria obviously retains. Anyways, then we got the LWO versus, what's her name, man? American May and El Grande Americano, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Here's the thing. I know people are actually enjoying this, alright? I'm not gonna lie. I don't hate it, alright? I don't hate the gimmick. But here's the thing. This is Chad Gable we're talking about. Chad Gable is an absolute beast, alright? This guy is a beast. And we're using him for this, like, goofy stuff, man? I just can't stand it, alright? This guy should be the IC champion right now, arguably. He should be the US champion right now, arguably. And now he's here doing this, like, goofy gimmicks and this comedy stuff, man. It just bothers me a lot, man. Anyways, yeah. This was actually a pretty fun match. I'm not even gonna say pretty. This was a very fun match. This was a very fun match. LWO are awesome, dude. The LWO is awesome. Every single time they get a, you know, opportunity to do something crazy, they do it. They goddamn do it. They make the best out of every opportunity they're given. It just sucks that they can't, you know, really connect with the crowd, you know, and, you know, be this memorable part of the show every single time. You know, they just end up being the, you know, whatever parts of the show. But they're always doing some crazy stuff, dude. So I think LWO are actually pretty underrated. Anyways, yeah, obviously, you know, as expected, with some shenanigans, El Grande Americano picks up the win for his team. Now, here's the thing. After this match, you know, a little bit after this match, we see Rey Mysterio backstage with Adam Pearce, and he says that he wants El Grande Americano at WrestleMania. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? WrestleMania, dude. The biggest show of the year, the granddaddy of them all, the Showcase of Immortals, and we're getting Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Are you kidding me? You know, at least go all in on this goofy stuff and give us a, you know, anything goes match. And give us a Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville type of match, you know. Instead, now we're just getting a regular match between Rey Mysterio and El Grande Americano at WrestleMania? Yeah, whatever, man. I'm not even going to say anything about this whole El Grande Americano stuff right now. I'm just going to let it play out. There we go, Triple H. I just said your favorite few words. I'm going to let it play out. Let's just move on. Then we see the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther, and before he can say anything, we hear Uso. Jey Uso comes out with a black tee, you know, no yeet, no nothing, no merch. He was just wearing his yeet glasses, you know, but that was it. Everything else was just like blacked out. He was not even like yeeting with the crowd. He was looking all serious and stuff. Like, this is what I wanted, dude. This is what we needed. Jey Uso nailed it, man. This guy nailed it. So he walked into the ring and he told Gunther, like, hey, Gunther, you got a mom, Oos? You got a mom?
what do you guys talk? What do you guys talk about with your mom? You talk about family stuff. What I talk about with my mom? I talk about how, her older son is in the hospital. And, apparently his mom asked him, like, well, why didn't you protect him? Why didn't you help him? And he was like, because I am afraid of Gunther. Yeah, Jey Uso said it, quote unquote, I am afraid of you, Gunther. And then he just says a bunch of stuff I don't remember exactly word for word what he said. But then in the end, he does say that, at that moment, when he saw Jimmy Uso laying in the ring all bloody and stuff, and he was looking at Gunther with, Jimmy's blood all over him, and he wanted revenge on him, he realized that he's not afraid of Gunther anymore. This was actually a pretty good promo from Jey Uso, I'm not gonna lie. This was a very good promo from Jey Uso, This is what we needed, guys. This is what we needed. I'm not even kidding when I say this. Well, if we got this kind of stuff, literally at least 2 weeks after Jey Uso won the Rumble, I would not complain at all, alright? I would have never complained about Jey Uso versus Gunther. I would have actually enjoyed this, because this is good, but it's too late, man. Yeah, I did say it in my previous review, better late than never, but here's the thing, it is still too late, The first, 3/4 of this feud was garbage. So I'm glad that WWE, kind of did lock in and give us what we needed from this feud. And, Jey Uso finally cut a good promo, finally cut a serious promo, which is what we needed all this time. But if only we got this earlier, this could have actually been a very good rivalry, man. This could have actually been very good, and I would have actually not even complained about this. Anyways, yeah, let's just move on. The great promo from Jey Uso. You know what? Clap it up for Jey Uso, man. Respect, all right? He delivered. Jey Uso delivered. Then we see the New Day versus the War Raiders for the World Tag Team Championship. Now, before going to this match, I said, I don't care about this match. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to watch it. As long as the New Day win, I'm cool with it. And guess what? The New Day lost. So, they won via DQ, which makes it even worse. So, yeah, let's just move on, man. This is absurd. This is just absurd, man. What are they doing with the tag division? What are they doing with it? Why are the War Raiders still champion when you literally have nothing to do with them? They're doing nothing. They're just having the most boring title reign of all time. There's no real stories. There's no real rivalries. They just defend their belts like once in 6 weeks against, the Creed brothers or the Judgment Day. And that's it. That's all they do. And they've held the belt since November? Are you kidding me? Get out of here, man. This division is, it's officially cooked, man. It's cooked for eternity. Let's just move on. Anyways, then we see Dominic Mysterio versus Penta. This was a pretty good match, I'm not gonna lie. Dominic Mysterio actually does put on really good matches, dude. He's really underrated in the ring, I'm not gonna lie. Over the past couple of years or something, he has really improved. And Penta, obviously, he's Penta. It's pretty much a well-known fact that he's great in the ring. So put these two together and you get a great match. This was a great TV match, I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed it. And obviously, Penta wins, Well, let's be honest, Dominic's not winning. But yeah, then we get a post-match assault with, what's his name, man? Carlito attacking Penta, and then Braun Breaker arrives to the rescue, and he hits Carlito with a nasty spear, man. Nasty spear. That was crazy, dude. I literally cringed so hard, because that was so good, dude. Anyways, yeah, then Finn Balor attacks, Braun Breaker from behind, and then Finn Balor stands tall. So it's official that we're going to be getting this Fatal 4-Way match at WrestleMania, and I'm not going to lie, that this is going to be a pretty good match. I'm pretty confident, alright? My only request is give Dirty Dom the IC title. He deserves it, man. Dominic Mysterio really deserves a singles title. Anyways, let's just move on. And then we see Paul Heyman. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is... I'm not even in the mood for this, I'm not even in the mood for this, I'm not gonna lie. It's 11:56 in the night. On a Monday night, too. It's not good to be alive on this Monday night, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, Paul Heyman just says that he's very loyal to his tribal chief, Roman Reigns, and he's also very loyal to his best friend in the whole damn world, CM Punk. So obviously, we can see that Paul Heyman is kind of conflicted. And then we see Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins cuts a pretty good promo, I'm not gonna lie. He basically talks about everything I've been wondering for the past year or so. For example, after Roman Reigns lost the title, to Cody Rhodes, he just left Paul Heyman alone with Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. And, when they completely destroyed Paul Heyman, when Jacob Fatu, powerbombed him on the announce table, Roman Reigns never came back to help him or, avenge him or do anything. He was literally out until SummerSlam. So, yeah, Roman Reigns really doesn't care about Paul Heyman. That's what Seth Rollins tells, Paul Heyman. And he says that CM Punk doesn't care about Paul Heyman either because, when he left the WWE, he tried to destroy the place and all that blah, 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 blah. The same thing Seth Rollins has been yapping about for a year now.
So yeah, this was a pretty good promo from Seth Rollins, I'm not gonna lie. And then he says that he pities Paul Heyman, you know. He feels bad for him that now he's in this situation where he's got to choose between, you know, his best friend and this tribal chief. So Seth Rollins said that he's going to make sure that Paul Heyman doesn't even make it to WrestleMania. So he said that he's going to beat the hell out of Paul Heyman right now, you know, in the ring on Monday Night Raw, so that Paul Heyman won't make it to WrestleMania. So, you know, he starts like pushing Paul Heyman. He starts like smacking him in the face and all that stuff. And Paul Heyman puts his hand on Seth Rollins and says, "Get your hands off of me," or something like that. I don't even remember. Like, damn, Paul Heyman fought back, dude. Paul Heyman fought back. Anyways, yeah, then Seth Rollins just like, you know, pushes Paul Heyman to the corner. And, you know, they're almost brawling, I should say. And then we see CM Punk, who makes the save. CM Punk and Seth start brawling. And then Seth Rollins hits CM Punk with a curb stomp. And then, you know, Paul Heyman is checking on CM Punk. And then Seth Rollins goes to hit a curb stomp on Paul Heyman. But then he misses purposely. And then he tells Paul Heyman, "Now you owe me a favor." Huh? What the hell? Why? Why does Paul Heyman owe you a favor again, Seth? Because, you know, you didn't curb stomp him? That's why he owes you a favor? That makes no sense. So you're telling me that Paul Heyman owes you a favor only because you didn't hurt him? What the hell? I have never hurt Paul Heyman in my life. Ever. Does that mean Paul Heyman owes me a favor? Yo, Paul, can you promote my channel on your Instagram story or something? Like, come on, you owe me a favor now because I never hurt you. Like, this makes no sense. Anyways, yeah, but before that one line, you know, this was actually a pretty good segment, I'm not gonna lie. But that one line kind of ruined it because it makes no sense. But I guess what they're trying to do is, you know, tease this Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins partnership. Because, you know, that's what people have been fantasy booking, including me, because, you know, I made a whole ass video on it. You should check it out. But yeah, man, I feel like at this point, Triple H himself doesn't even know what he's doing. He's just doing like random stuff for Raw and SmackDown every single week. So yeah, it's just unfortunate, man. It's just unfortunate because this was a stinker of an episode of Monday Night Raw. I'm not gonna lie. Well, like it was definitely better than, you know, some of the previous weeks, and a million times better than SmackDown. Because god damn it. But it was still a pretty bad show, you know, especially when you consider the fact that this is the second to last episode of Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania. This was a pretty trash show. I'm going to give this a 5.5 out of 10. I feel like that's perfect. I think at this point, it's just undisputed, you know. You can't argue against it. Triple H and WWE in general has completely disappointed and let down their fans for WrestleMania 41. Because they really have no idea what they're doing, man. They really don't. And I feel like this is just going to be the norm from now on, you know. I think SummerSlam is going to be trash as well. I think everything's going to be trash because WWE just don't know what they're doing anymore. It just sucks, man. Literally the direction that this company is going in, it just sucks. Anyways, yeah, guys, that was it for Monday Night Raw. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.